Hello everyone, how are you? I hope all of you are always in a good condition since this pandemic COVID-19 still exists till today. Here we are going to explain about academic listening TOEFL IBT test. It is a final project of academic listening. But before we continue this video, let me introduce the member of our team first. There are Albi Nosi Setyatama and Azka Wijdan Ma'ruf. TOEFL IBT definition. Test of English as a foreign language internet-based test. Difference between TOEFL IBT and TOEFL PBT. TOEFL IBT. The TOEFL IBT exam is given online through the internet at designated testing sites. It is recommended that you have basic typing skill in order to complete this exam in a timely manner. This exam measures writing, reading, listening, and speaking skill. The test is administered very frequently throughout the year at various locations. The test takes about 3 to 4 hours to complete. This format of the exam is generally the only option students will have at most locations where they will be taking the TOEFL exam.
And then for TOEFL PBT exam is administered via a paper and pencil format. This exam measures listening, reading, writing, and grammar skills. This exam is only offered in areas where internet is not available. The test takes about 2.5 hours to complete. This exam is being passed out and the TOEFL IBT will be the primary TOEFL exam given to international students. And the table of contents. For the first is question types in TOEFL IBT. Number 2 is understand relationships. And for number 3 is understand organization. And for number 4 is pragmatic understanding. For the first type is type question. First is case content, then case purpose, and then detailed question. For case content question, basically, this case content provide a lot of statements that are explicit or implicit. So for this type of question, you have to be more careful and collect a lot of information from the statement given. Case content question frequently asks about the subject, topic, or main idea of the passage. The example of case content question: what is the problem arise that the woman have? What is the teacher mainly about? What is the main idea of the speaker are saying? And tips for this question is: write down all important information and then eliminate answers that do not match with the information in the test. And case purpose question. Case purpose questions are more often featured in conversation than lectures. The questions that usually appear in this type of question ask about the purpose of the whole discussion. The example of give purpose question: why does the lecturer left the class? Why does the teacher explain X? Why the student visit the administrative office? And tips for this question is: identify the main reason why the lecturer went to left the class. Then, many times understanding the student problem will help you to solve this question. And for detailed question require you to understand and also remember detailed explicit information and fact from lectures or conversation. Example of give purpose question: what result from the invention of the eggs? According to the professor, what is the main problem with the eggs theory? According to the professor, what is the one way that X can affect Y? And tips for this question is: read, scan for keywords and synonyms, and simply the question. And then eliminate incorrect choices. And then for multi-choice question, this specialization question may have 1 or 2 answers. Identifying multiple choice. Multiple choice questions are commonly worded like the following. According to the professor, blah blah blah, who was responsible for blah blah blah, what is stated about blah blah blah, where did X occur, what was X important, what does the student blah blah blah. And tips for this question is, listen for the repeated information. Then, listen to the expression that introduce details. For example, this is important, blah blah blah. You might want to write this down, blah blah blah. It's really important that you understand, blah blah blah. And then, watch out for exact word matches. And the last but not least, if you're not sure, make guesses related to the main idea.
And now, it's time to discuss understanding organization question and relationship between ideas. Understand organization. There are 4 important points here. The first, the point of this type of question could be more than one. And the second, it will be asked how the ideas are organized. And then we need to know the main point and understand how they are organized. And the last, the question which appear may be like the direct question or filling out the chart. And then the example of questions. Number 1. How does the teacher explain which he talks about Merapi Mountain? And then number 2. How does the teacher organize the information to the student in the classroom? And the tips. We need to listen carefully and focus how to point are structured. And it will be better if we are listening while taking note. Understand relationship. It will be asked how can those different ideas in the passage are related. It usually stated indirectly. There are several things that have to be considered in this notice in this part, such as make a conclusion, predict an outcome, make an inference, recognize sequence, and also determine the cause and effect. And then the example of the questions. The first is, what is the likely outcome of doing procedure camping at Merapi Mountain before enjoying natural condition of Merapi Mountain? And then number 2, what can be inferred about hiking at Merapi Mountain? There are 3 tips here. The first, we need to listen to the speaker carefully. And then the second, we need to make a conclusion about how can those points are related. And last, it will be better if we take notes. Pragmatic understanding. In this part, we will discuss about pragmatic understanding of spoken English which are more subtle. Understanding function. It doesn't deal with the meaning of the words that the speaker say, but the information implied how the speaker say them. Many times the speaker use slangs, idioms, or say things that are not directly relevant to what the question asks. The example of questions. The first, why does the speaker say this? What does the speaker mean? And then the second, why does the student say that? And then why does the teacher mention that? What does he mean when he say this? And the last, listen again to a part of the conversation. The tips. Listen carefully and think of why the speaker said something. And then the answer of this part usually looks like 2 infinitives. For example, to make a point about, to give example of, to ask about, to suggest that. Strategies. The first, listen carefully to intonation and stress. And then watch out for rhetorical questions. And the third, distinguish between literal and pragmatic meaning language. And then the last, pay attention on repeated words or reword information. Understanding speaker stance. Possible feelings, such as positive or negative, happy or sad, impressed or unimpressed, enthusiastic or bored, and doubtful or certain. The example of question. The first, listen again to a part of conversation or passage. And then select the sentence that best expresses how speaker feels. Then the tips: listen to what is said in the context and how it is said and draw conclusion. I think that's all our video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Thanks for watching.